Howdy doody everybody, today's video we're talking about Monster Hunter Stories 2. They just had an amazing stream where they dropped a bunch of new information about the post-game content and a bunch of like DLC content that is coming in Monster Hunter Stories 2. I think they smashed it out of the park, and I'm here with Paradise to talk
I'm back, everybody.
About this. He's back. How about one of these days you guys say howdy doody back to me? Howdy doody everybody. So, first thing that surprised us was like there are deviants in Monster Hunter Stories 2. Right?
Wait, hold on, Tuesday. Before that, they showed so much in this. Wow! If you guys don't know, we got stuff to talk about. It's exciting. They showed things that you wouldn't expect, and they went even into some detail of the post game, like you just mentioned, which I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, we've seen some of this stuff, but even seeing it again kind of just surprised us as well, because there's some things that we don't even know that we saw in the stream, even though we have had some more experience with the game than you guys, because we actually have the full game at the moment. But let's go through the deviants first that they showed off, which is kind of nuts. So what is that? That is Dreadking Rathalos, right? The poison one? Is that the name? I can't remember. It's the one that's got the lethal poison.
You know whose name I can tell you?
What?
Thunderlord Zinogre in the middle. I can't believe it.
Thunderlord Zinogre's there. Bloodbath, like Daedalus looking one, and Molten Tigrex is there.
Silver Fang Naga Cougar. I can't believe it.
Is it Silver Fang? Silver Wing? Silver Fang.
Silver. I don't know now. You got me second guessing.
But yeah, the deviants look sick. I'm just excited that there's like probably going to be the base monster in the game. Hopefully these don't take like a spot of like just the base monsters. Like you have the base monsters plus you got like these deviants in there. I don't suspect that they do. And hopefully, yeah, these ones are hit hard and you can have them as like Monsties as well. So yeah, hopefully that's going to be a good time.
How are they just dropping a deviant bomb? Like, was it 5 different deviants? That is, and they're like cool ones too. Zinogre's like one of my favorites, so I'm just super happy that they've shown Thunderlord.
Yeah, and obviously they also showed off that there's like Elder Dragons in the game as well. So that's like Kushala, that is Valkana, that is Kirin.
Wait, we are not glossing over Kirin. I have been following this game pre-launch. We've obviously been playing it, and you know there's certain things we can't talk about, but on the website they had already confirmed certain number of monsters, right? So we already knew Kushala, we already knew Teostra, we'd already seen Nergigante in the trailers. That's another thing, we'll talk about that in a sec. Kirin, I don't believe was shown anywhere, not in a trailer, not on the website, and he's just in there. So, you know, everyone hates fighting Kirin, but you're gonna love riding him on your team, right? He's a cool thunder unicorn elder dragon. So, I'm really amazed that they have shown and that Kirin is in the game. So,
see, I've just noticed something on the screenshots, and if you look in the screenshots closely, you can actually see they both in the deviants and in the Elder Dragons, they actually have a thing where you can ride them. So they've got like the riders like mount thing on that. That's nutty, dude.
2-6.
I don't know which.
You don't know how many people I have seen saying Nergigante's in the trailer, but can we ride him? Well, yeah, that picture right there, he has a giant rider thing on his back, as well as Valkana, as well as Kirin, as well as the other ones. Like, wow. So to me, that would say he's rideable because it's literally on his back there. It wouldn't be there otherwise, right?
Yeah. That is very cool. So which one of those are you going to end up like having or trying to pick for your team? Of all the deviants and the...
You're making me pick one out of all of them.
One out of all of them. One from each. One from each.
Elder Dragons.
With
a heavy heart, I have to put Valkana to the side because Nergigante is such a cool... He's the Elder Dragon Eater. It was such a fun fight in World. I think Nergigante, he's a powerhouse Elder Dragon, right? Which Elder Dragon are you picking?
Yeah. I would pick Gore if it's there, but I would have to pick Kirin. Kirin is the lightning pony. I just feel like Kirin has got like that that danger, that sense of like that aura, that threatening aura. People have bad experiences with Kirin. If you bring Kirin out, it's gonna throw the person off that you're playing against, basically.
I wonder, because Kirin is like, he's quite fast. He darts around, he leaves thunder, that like in world, right? So I wonder, like stat wise, is he gonna be like super high speed? Is he gonna be super high damage? What's he gonna be? Because like if you look at him, he's just like a little unicorn compared to these giant dragons. But you know he keeps up with them. He's an Elder Dragon, so it'll be interesting to see. But going to the Deviants, like you said, I think for me, it has to go to Thunder Lord Zinogre. I love. So cool. He looks so cool. He looks like a Super Saiyan Zinogre. He literally is that. So it's got to be Thunder Lord Zinogre for me. I can't wait until we can see all his moves and stuff and all the cool stuff he does.
Sick. So the next thing that we have to talk about is the co-op. I am happy to see that there is co-op in there, and it looks a bit more robust than I was expecting. The fact that you can go in and kind of do these like missions as well. The one mission that they showed off was them getting the Palamute, which is a huge monster to have in the game as well. It's kind of them kind of showing some love to Rise. But it's definitely something that I'm going to try to recruit for my team and have on there. Maybe as just a meme, just have like a bunch of Palamutes as a Palamute squad just terrorizing people out there in like the PvP section.
The best
what do you think
the best Rise event quest is adding the Palamute to stories too. For real though, they did already show the co-op in one of the early trailers, like uber briefly, like snippets at the end. So from that trailer, we knew that there was some kind of co-op exploration as well as battling in co-op. And then on this stream, we got to see basically an entire co-op expedition, which they also showed the co-op board quests, and there was different kinds of quests that you could do. So from what they've showed, it's obviously more than just that. But in the expeditions, we got to see that you had a quest objective, which was like, go and slay the monster and you finish the quest. But along the way, they were exploring together, they were in the open world together, they could swap out monsters, they could pick up loot on the floor, there was eggs along the way that they could get, that's how they were getting the Palamute, right? But they were also getting other eggs in that expedition, and some of them were even shiny as well. So it looks like there's multiple eggs that you can basically farm in those co-op quests. And it also showed how the co-op battle system worked, which I thought was interesting. Do you want to tell us what the battle system was like?
So the co-op battle system works kind of like the traditional battle system from Stories 2 anyway, but you can kind of communicate with your friend and take turns. If you ever played like Magic the Gathering, where you're playing like these co-op games, or double-headed giant as they call it in Magic, it's kind of like that, where you take turns with your partner, kind of set them in, and then that kind of command goes through, and then you can play it that way. But generally, guys, like, we haven't even started talking about the roadmap yet. Were any of you guys expecting this? Were you expecting like all of this stuff in Stories 2? I thought it was just going to be a single player game and then done.
Yeah, my expectations were so low after for the roadmap specifically, after what we've been through with Rise, and I still really enjoyed Rise. Still my favorite hunting monster hunter game, right? But my expectations were low. I was like, it's probably going to launch. It's probably not going to have much post content, because that's what essentially Rise was like, right? And they've sort of blown us out the park with what they've got planned for literally the couple months after launch, and then maybe there's more after that. Really cool
Not even
stuff.
In comparison to like Rise, just as a single player more story driven game, I just expected it to just be like more of a campaign focus, but now they've said that they've added Elder Layer in as endgame content. There's going to be all these deviants for you to capture afterwards, and what that means, and there's co-op, a kind of co-op session thing that you can go into, get stuff and goodies as well, and there's going to be hard co-op missions, which we'll talk about once we get to the roadmap. I'm just pleasantly surprised. I don't know, is this going to be the game where I'm expecting it to only play it for a couple of days and end up playing it for weeks on end, or where it's the opposite of Rise, where I was expecting it to play that for ages and ended up playing it a lot less than I was expecting. We'll have to see.
I feel like based on the roadmap, we're going to be coming back to at least capture and try out these new monsters as they add them in. So for me, knowing that you have, a whole game at launch and then every month afterwards, just new monsters constantly, you know you're going to be, at least I feel like you know you're going to be playing it for a bit, even if it's just to log in and get those Monsties afterwards.
Cool. So let's delve into the roadmap quite quickly. This is something that Paradise has covered on his channel, so if you want to go in depth on that and learn about all the individual monsters and like their dates and all of that stuff, what I'm going to do here is to say before October, all of this stuff is coming, and this is kind of nuts, alright? So, first up, basically in the first week, we've got a Palamute coming, then we've got Kulve. Paradise, we've got Kulve coming back.
I can't believe it, dude.
Yeah, then we've got Glavenus, a Deviant, which is Hellblade Glavenus, and Bolt Reaver Astalos. Astalos being one of my favourite monsters, so that's like Gore and Astalos is like up there for me in terms of monsters. What are your favourite monsters, and what are you hoping that they've added, or is in stories actually, because we don't really know the full roster of monsters. Then we've got Soul Seer Mitsuzune. Then we've got Gammoth, Kirin, a Roshi Kirin. So we've got Elder Frost Gammoth and a Roshi Kirin. Nuts.
Just when you thought Kirin couldn't get any worse, a Roshi Kirin comes around.
We've got Dreadking Rathalos, Molten Tigrex, and then a co-op exclusive harder difficulty Kulve quest as well coming. So there's going to be two difficulties of that. I guess that's just like a harder version, and it probably is going to clump you because people are looking for difficulty. I think one of the things that most people ask is, does the game get like more difficult as you go on? We'll have to talk about that more next week, but you can kind of.
But they say
guess.
High difficulty on the roadmap, so
yeah,
you can guess.
Then in October, we've got some mystery monster that's hopefully really cool. We're guessing I'm guessing it's Fatalis. I don't know what Paradise is guessing.
I guessed Elatrion, but I now want to take it back, and I now pray that it's Namiel.
Oh,
how sick would
Namiel.
that be?
That would be sick. That would be sick. And then to top it off, on the roadmap that we know of so far, we're getting Rathalos and Rathian. Gold versions of those bad boys in their deviant forms, and definitely ones that we feared all across the board, even from World. When they came in, they absolutely like clumped us. So it'll be nice to see how they function. And remember, all of these monsters usually have their own distinct genes about them as well. And they're probably gonna, when they say new Monsties, they're rideable, so you can have them on your team. It's not just going to be a fight that you can go against. And it'll be interesting to see how all of this stuff works in.
True, because
just generally,
just to recap, all of these monsters will hopefully have armor, weapons, and be rideable, which is nuts. Yeah. Also, side tangent, does anyone remember just farming Gold Rathian in World just constantly?
Yeah.
Because you just needed so many parts for different things, and certain parts of the Gold Rathian set were like kind of like meta pieces, if I'm remembering right. And all I remember is I just had to farm the Guiding Lands to get that Gold Rathian so that you could get the parts you needed, and that was a whole saga of its own. So I'm excited to see it back. I want to see how it plays out, what the armor's like.
Yeah, so in comparison to Rise, we're looking kind of really good here, guys. Like, I'm hopeful for this, and hopefully the content that they drop is fun. From what I played so far, want to experience this stuff that is coming up, basically. So I don't know about you guys from the demo. What are you guys feeling? Are you guys liking the demo? Do you like what you've played so far? Are you excited to see all of this stuff coming up? Is there any monsters in particular that you're looking to grab? But in comparison to Rise, Paradise, yourself, like, how are you feeling about all of this?
I was surprised, having just, come off of Rise and the roadmap that we've had with that. So pleasantly surprised, and yeah, I feel like this roadmap beats Rises out of the water. Really, I'm surprised. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm happy. Feeling all the emotions.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, right? People were saying that our expectations were too high for like the content coming, like for the event quests and stuff like that. But they've shown here they can. I know it's two different structures for the games. One's an RPG. There's like different stuff going on, and there's like less resources. I don't know. Is there less resources? It's like unless we're actually sitting at dev studios, we don't actually know that.
I will say this though, 26, because they talked a bit about this in the stream as well at the very end, where they were talking about the style change that this game has from Stories 1. So it's not just like, oh, yoink the monsters that were in Stories 1 or yoink the skeletons. They've changed the size of things. They've changed the look of everything. It's a whole new style that is different than Stories 1. So the fact that there are all of these, new monsters being added in after the game launches, I feel like they must have put work into this, because that's a lot of new monsters being added in, and they haven't just pulled it out of something else.
Yeah. So, but the good thing to come out of this is if they've seen that this has been positively received, if there is ever a G-rank version of Rise, hopefully they keep up this cadence of content and we don't have like a disappointment when it comes to post-game content and people saying that we should just be satisfied with that, because obviously I feel like they've gone even more ham on stuff and included more end-game content and shown the stuff off before release because people were making so much noise, and that was a pain point for a lot of people. I feel like this is almost a direct response to some of that stuff. So it's exciting. It's exciting times.
It is.
Anyway, guys, let's go and make sure that you're checking out Paradise's video, which is what we talked about a bit earlier. The
roadmap. We're talking about all the monsters being added in the days they're being added, what we think of them, all that kind of stuff. Very exciting.
Yeah, so definitely leave a like and subscribe to the channel, both Paradise and mine, if you like this content, and let us know what you think about all of this stuff coming and what you're excited for and what you want us to cover going into Stories 2. Anyway, guys, bye-bye.
Bye.